Oh, okay.
All right, we're recording now. We're talking about Sean Week, guys. So for those of you hopping on, we got Steph talking a little bit about our Sean Week. Here we go.
Okay. So hopefully you guys all did the workout today. I thought it was pretty awesome, 30 minutes. And Claire posted a nice visual in the group too of what workout we're doing each day. So if you don't want it to be a surprise, I would look that up. I know I wanted to know for myself. Tomorrow I know is cardio. So, hang tight there. As far as the group itself, I think a lot of us, including myself, need to tonight follow up on our people, or especially our people that haven't shown up, whether you're tagging them or messaging them. And the ones that have shown up, make sure that you're messaging them and reaching out to them and telling them a great job and, encouraging them to continue on and, congratulate them for showing up and posting in the group. I think you can still continue to add people. I know I added some people this morning, and then people asked about friends, and nothing wrong with that. So definitely not too late to get on it, especially since it sounds like with prices and all that, we're going on a daily basis. So if you didn't get in on it today, there's still 6 more days left, and then there'll be 5 more and 4 more and so on and so forth. So it's too late to get people in on the group.
All the
so we need to be, forming those relationships with people, making them feel special, and then also thinking ahead. Everybody start thinking a date in mind for their challenge, because that's going to be your next invite is to a premium challenge, which is what our free challenges lead into. So by the end of this challenge, you guys, I will better have something set up, for to invite to follow up with this free challenge here.
Yep.
So.
Always having a next step, guys, just really taking people in terms of your funnel. I think that's important. So Steph, give us some of our newer coaches, like what they have a person they've added, and that person has expressed interest. They've even signed up for the 14-day free trial. They haven't shown up. What do you message them?
I would just make sure that they're set up in the group. There's some setup. There's some steps that we have to take to set somebody up on Beachbody on Demand. I would reach out to them, ask them if they had any trouble, probably setting themselves up with Beachbody on Demand. Which route they look at going, using their laptop, or they're looking at using a streaming device, and see what kind of response you get from there, because that's the most important thing. I think.
So first of all, check on the tech.
Set them up. Mm-hmm.
So that might not, so that's like a spot where you go, hey, just checking. I hadn't seen you post yet in the group. Are you able to access everything? Something like that. Is that like an active? Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, so then they are able. Yeah, I got it. I just haven't gotten into it. I don't know if I'm going to have time. What do you say?
Well, I'd let them know that we're doing a contest on a daily basis, and if for some reason they just absolutely can't get to it today, hey, tomorrow. Do what you can, do your best, put 100% into it. That's what I would encourage. Do what you can.
So
7 days of workout, 7 days in a row is going to be tough for a lot of people.
Yep. And I think that's a good reminder. So I think you just back just to the sense of progress over perfect, right? Mm-hmm. All I want you to do is make progress this week. So if it's not 7 out of 7, don't let a perfectionistic mindset hold you back from getting in the game here, right? I think a lot of people, when they don't get out of the gate, then they go, forget it, right? You guys experience that probably. So it's just a matter of making sure that they know that it's okay to keep going. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now as far as posting goes, we've got a schedule set for that. Is there anything part of the thing that I really that Joe Carden talked to me a lot about was the fact that having not massively overwhelming people with value, but certainly giving people a lot of value in terms of more than just a daily check-in kind of a deal. There's actually that's why I put a recipe in. Val, I didn't see what you had a chance to post tonight. Do we want to consider more filling that out a bit more? It doesn't have to be 3 times a day, but at least maybe a couple times a day that a coach is posting something. Some of it, we probably need to talk about Shakeology at some point in this thing. Do we want to, what are some things? What do you want to do? Any ideas?
Yeah, I even think you could post twice a day. I don't think you need to do that every day, because I think it's going to get overwhelming, especially, maybe in the beginning we posted, this evening, so maybe not tomorrow night, because some people are catching up and you know, for a new person to get into the group, it's going to be overwhelming.
Sure.
It's going to be overwhelming, I think.
Okay. So yeah, maybe just so tomorrow we'll get the morning post in, and then on Wednesday we can maybe do something in addition to that. Just like, so Christy Lyons, who is like a beast at this stuff, like she's she's down in Texas, but she like just massively, and maybe it's just the fact that she's going for like the stay-at-home mom crowd that might, I don't know, nothing against it, like, just so you know, stay-at-home moms, I know you guys are busy too, but that they want the connection a lot. Like they're like, save me
Yeah.
of my kids. So I think maybe that could be a part of the reason why she does a lot of extra. But yeah, so that's good.
Yeah,
All right.
I definitely agree. We all have people like that in our group's challengers, and I do feel like they're the main communicators sometimes.
Yeah. And I think in our group too, I'm getting more of like almost the retiree age is actually where I've got a lot of my folks who are really want to connect in that. So it's a similar kind of a situation. Guys, I just would have to say that my hamstrings and my butt are killing me from this morning. Thanks, Sean. Wow, that first set, I was like, what? Are we going to do this again? Oh my gosh, killer. And then he eased up a little bit towards as the end kind of went on, but it wasn't, the plyo stuff was fun. Anyway, okay, thanks, Steph, so much for doing that. You guys are doing great. Val, you're doing great. Claire, you're doing great. Thanks for setting things up. All of you guys, thanks for your hard work and making that group happen. So good stuff.
Hey, one question, because you did mention something. What do you want to do about Shakeology as far as, you know, how much we want to talk about it? Do we not talk about it? Because Val and I actually were just kind of talking about that a little bit right before the call. And then, you know, I kind of thought we were going to stay away from it, but then you're like, we need to figure out how we're going to approach it. Because that was actually in the challenge group post for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nutrition and Shakeology. So I'm just kind of wondering what your thoughts are on that.
No, so I didn't want people to check in with it. That was the only reason, because I didn't want to like go, you know what I mean? That was the only reason. It's not gonna, I don't want it to not be mentioned. I just didn't want it to be a check-in situation, because then people feel like, you know, I have to click this box that says Shakeology when I'm not drinking Shakeology. It kind of feels false, right? And I don't care if you're drinking a protein shake or whatever, if it doesn't, So that's the reason why I didn't want to do it for the tracker app side of things. But when it comes to Shakeology, absolutely. I think it's part of our solution, so we need to at least mention it in this. And I think it's
Should we mention it now? I mean, it's kind of early in the group.
I would say it's a little early. I would say more like the Thursday feels like a good spot for me, like Thirsty Thursday or something like that.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Does that sound good? All right. I'm not sure who that person is.
You're all muted.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. I think that'll be a good thing for us.
All right.
Yep. Hey guys, quick, just so you know, 30-ish, 31 days, whatever. I don't know how many days it is exactly, but it is that many days till Summit. What? It's the Mardi Gras party. So you must wear something purple. I don't know why, but in green, in gold. But anyway, we are looking forward to that. Go Team's heading down. Just giving you this awareness. If you're up for it, I am going to be making, they're going to be about $15. They're going to be Go Team exclusive only for Summit folk for this. They're going to be exclusive t-shirts, okay? I want to get your guys' input on it. Do you want it to be more of a workout situation? Do you want it to be more wear around? What does that look like for you guys? I think it'd be awesome. I love having those kind of things from it, and it's going to say New Orleans. I got some thoughts on how to potentially make it look, but anyway, just getting your input on that stuff. So, you know what I'll do? I'll probably put that in the Go Team club. I'll actually put a post up about it, and then we'll get input that way. Probably be easiest. Okay? But I just want to give you guys that info. It'll be about $15, and we're going to bring them to Summit. Okay? Just so you know, I'll bring them as we go, and we'll make sure everybody gets them. Okay. Yep. I love workout. Yep. Yeah, workout I think would be probably the thing to potentially have, and just to be able to use that, and I think we'll all So maybe like tank kind of a situation for ladies. And then guys, you know, I've been trying to get a actual cut off sleeves shirt for the longest time from my gal. I'd love to have an actual muscle tee kind of a deal. So that'd be cool. Great. Okay, so there's that. That's 2. And guys, we're just about ready to get into our, let's see, yes. Let me go here real fast. 2 seconds. We're going to get into the meat of our call here with Julie Voris. Okay, Julie Voris. Where are we at? There we go. All right. And here we go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. You guys ready? Okay, so Julie Voris, y'all, you're going to get it because she's in the Sean Week video. She's the modifier this morning. You guys know she's blonde and had the chair. We'll get a little bit about her history and get a chance to hear some. Seriously, guys, just to hang on. Well, first of all, before we get started, how many people got a chance to listen in on the wake-up call this morning? Anybody listening to it? Yeah, you did? You can say, yeah. Really a great call. I love the fact she gave really 5 practical principles that we can use to kind of frame things, which I think was really, really awesome. So I hope you had a chance to listen. If you didn't have a chance, make sure you do hit the recording on that. Really, really great stuff. Okay? All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Here we go. Boom. And share. Hey, look, it's me with my shirt. Here we go. 3. You guys can all see that. And you know what? We can stop stuff. If you have questions in the middle, just pop them in the chat, and we'll get rolling. Here we go. All right, well, guys, so excited to share today. We've got Julie Voris on the line, and she is going to hang with us for a bit. She just got done recording or doing the National Wake Up Call with Michael Neiman today, so that was great to hear you. And I know a lot of my coach team are already blowing it up on our message strand, just saying, that was the best call. So great stuff. So, Julie, first of all, thank you so much for coming on our Go Team call here and being part of this. I think we've got the presence of a lot of Indiana coaches still within this, which is great. And so to have you be part of that, I think is a unique kind of a thing. And for you guys who are not part of Indiana, we're adopting you as Hoosiers just for this. So Julie, I wanted to get into want to talk a little bit about Sean Week. Wanted to cover a little bit about that. Want to cover also a little bit about your inspiration, like how you stay inspired as a coach. So we'll get to that in a little bit, and then I really would love for you to kind of breathe some of that inspiration into our coaches at different stages in their coaching career. So you want to start with Sean Week?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about Sean Week.
Yeah, let's hear what was that? First of all, let's get the behind the scenes kind of a thing. If you're cool with that, I'd love to hear. It's like when you watch a movie, it's watching the extras. I love to hear a little bit about that. What was it like to film that whole thing?
Surreal. It was surreal because not be like being on the set or having hair and makeup or any of that kind of those little pieces of it. The piece that was the most surreal to me was 3.5 years ago, I was pressing play on Sandy Max 30 in my basement, which it's funny. So we live in the same house that we bought 10 years ago before Beachbody thing. I've done some work in my basement to make it a little bit more of a dedicated workout space. As a fitness person, that's always what I wanted, but my basement looks different than it does now when I was pressing play on Max 30. So even that has had an evolution, which is kind of cool. And I would walk downstairs and press play at 5:30 in the morning, and he would tell me that he believed in me, and it was like that is his gift. He would reach through my TV screen, through that DVD, and into my basement and say the thing that I needed to hear at the time I needed to hear it. And I would walk back upstairs with that belief instilled in me right from the get-go. And it changed everything. It was a pivotal moment for me personally. And of course, that means it has to reflect on our business because business can't grow unless we grow. And as I changed and my belief changed in myself and what I could do from a fitness program, which is so cool, because I think people go into our fitness programs on the surface level. I want to lose 5 or 10 or 20 pounds, whatever, and that's great. Yay, we should want to do that too if that's our goal. But there's so much more that can happen with pressing play that we need to be open to as well. If we're just thinking about that weight loss, we might miss out on the deeper pieces. I think that's part of why Max 30 affected me so much, is because I was already teaching classes. I was already a master trainer. So I didn't really go into Max 30 looking for any kind of weight loss story. I've never been that person in Beachbody. I've never been a weight loss success story. I struggled with that at the beginning because I thought I probably couldn't make it in this business if I didn't have that. And that's never been my story. But I think that served me in this case, and that has served me since. It really opened my eyes to how much deeper this is than weight loss. That's important. That can be a catalyst for a lot of other pieces in our life, but it's not the only thing that happens with pressing play. And as that program changed me from the inside out, and I walked upstairs and sort of manifested that in the rest of my life, and my business changed and my life changed, and now, it was last month when we filmed it, to think here I am on the other side of the camera, and someone might press play on this program that doesn't know if they can do a Shaun T program, and they might look at me and go, okay, there's modifications, I can stick with it. They stick with it long enough to hear Shaun's unbelievable inspiration and motivation to experience what Shaun does so well, which is reach through that screen and get into your heart. They stick with it because of something I might offer them. It's so full circle, but I hesitate to use that term full circle because it's almost like, and it's done. And that's not, it's not. It's just sort of like another piece in the journey. So the surrealness of it.
Cycle, I think that's the word.
Cycle or something. It's just a arc or something. It's just the surreal part of it for me was I was there, and now I get to be that person on the other side to help that person who's there, which is the point of what we do anyway. So it's this sort of physical manifestation of what we do as coaches.
That's great. Anyway. Okay, so I want to point this out, guys. She said one phrase in that I really want to draw attention to, that I love it. When I got done with that program, and how that program, Max 30 for her, changed her life, right? How the program actually changed her life in ways that necessarily weren't weight loss related. Can any of you guys relate to that? Type it out. Like what ways? Give me an example of something a program has done for you in your life. I want to see this. Yes, totally can. Anything specifically, guys? Real fast. Like what ways have programs changed your life beyond the scale, beyond the Shaun teaches self-love, at least for me? Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. So Shaun is probably the best at that. Yep, very dark issues I had in college. Absolutely, yep. Consistent with things, belief in capabilities. Yeah, there you go, Nancy. So if you can get through a set of push-ups, can you actually do something else in life that is hard, right? Workouts, Alec and Leland, and get us some great quality time. Oh, that's fun. That's great. Yeah, you guys are the family workout group, which is great. All right, we're gonna get back at it, but I just thought I would mention that, guys, that those things, and just gonna challenge you if you aren't talking about that in your groups, you're missing out. Just being real, you're missing out on a key emotional connection for people that may get frustrated that they're maybe not seeing as much weight progress as they want, but you got to remind them. You got to remind them how much they're making progress, maybe in other ways, right? All these programs are great for me. Those years have taught me stay healthy. Yep. Do for me. Absolutely. That's great because Steph's often in it for others, right? Teaching others classes. So it's great to have something for her, and you need to have it, which is why so many instructors sometimes cannot be the best self-care people for the most part. All right, let's continue. I'm hearing Sean this morning as, doing the first workout and kind of hitting that, and just hearing how strong, it's obviously he's like, conquer your mind. This is truth, right? It's just truth. And so I think that's so the belief that that we instill as coaches. I think we underestimate that piece of this, because anybody can pick up a workout, go to BOD and do all that stuff. And of course, here's Sean, which is great too. Right. So our part to encourage what Sean is saying and to keep bringing that back up to folks, I think it's so critical. So
to connect the dots for people.
Yep.
To connect the dots that, okay, you just did one more push-up. That means you are stronger than you were yesterday, so I bet you could send one more invitation today. Like, just to connect the dots there between that physical and that mental. That's what coaches bring to the table. That it's why people get to day 3 on a program and then don't get to day 4, because they don't have anyone else in their life. They don't have a coach. They just ordered it off the infomercial, and they don't have anyone that's connecting the dots for them. And that's what coaches do that makes this whole thing so freaking hard sometimes, but so unique and special and different and life-changing.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool, because you get that chance to experience that in community with others too. And those when you see others' light bulbs turning on, it just inspires you to push play more, which is great.
Yeah,
we do. Okay, so I think you sort of hit on this a little bit, but I wanted to ask this specific question because I think. And it's funny because I've been following your journey. I'm on actually your email list, and I've seen the evolution of Julie Voris. And so if I can kind of sum this up in the coolest way, so you've always had a fierce independence to you in a good way, okay? But then there's also, because I had some of this in me too as well, but that can also be a liability sometimes, because then we can just kind of be individualistic and go, well, suck it up, buddy. I'm doing my thing. You take care of your thing, right? I mean, I think you're probably feeling me there. Right. And something has shifted in you the last 3 or so years. I've seen that. And I'm betting, and I'm thinking that's about the time that this whole thing hit. So I'm going to ask you this question. How have you been impacted maybe by Shaun T's life, or breathing something into you? And maybe that started with Max 30, but what does that look like in how you run your team, maybe a little bit differently? And I just saw you do your whole luncheon thing with your
challengers. I know.
Okay, had a show.
It's funny because speaking of that lunch, one of my challengers, when I asked them what was special about the challenge group or what they liked about the challenge group experience, what she said, I think, summed up everything about the business, even though she didn't do it knowingly. She was talking about a challenge group and it applied to the challenge group, but also applies to the business. And she said, I didn't know I needed this in my life until I had it. And I think that sort of sums up what our business and anything that I didn't know I needed Max 30 in my life until I had it. I didn't really know I needed to reach out to a mentor and ask for help to figure this out until I did it. I didn't know that I needed to change more than I had up to that point until I did it. And Max 30 was sort of a perfect storm for me, and it can happen, for anyone with any program or any sort of pivotal life event or whatever. It just sort of happened the time that I was doing Max 30. I was super frustrated with the plateau that I was on because that was reflecting in my team. And even though I'd been a coach for a while at that point, because Beachbody was new, we had sort of continued to grow.
Yeah, and you ride that wave, right?
Yes, because it was new. And then we got to a point where we didn't. And it took a while for me to understand, well, that's on me. And that's because of me and the lid that I had put on myself. And so there was this perfect storm of pushing myself in the physical sense that was happening in my basement. I was bringing that upstairs with me. And then someone else that I finally reached out and said, can you help me? Can you share some time with me? And then pushing myself in a mental, spiritual, emotional leadership sense. And these two finally collided enough that it shifted the soul in me that okay, I've got to change. And the change just started to happen. I mean, that feels so zen-ish or intangible, and I know what people want is tell me what to do. And I did some of that on the National Wake Up Call today, but there is a organic piece to it that if you are doing some of these more tangible things, this show up, this press play, some of those that are tangible, there is an organic piece to it that by continuing to put yourself in the place of most potential, stuff will shift and happen and you will grow if you're open to that. And then all of a sudden I didn't know I needed that in my life till it was in my life. And I think that unknowingly, I had continued, I mean, it's part of my work ethic and it's part of the culture, my own personal ethos that I just show up. I just continue to show up and I'm very consistent and I'm just always there. And because I did that, I've sort of put myself in that place where then other things started to happen at the time they were supposed to. Not the time that I wanted them to happen, because you know that it took us 7 years to become a 15-star team. Would I have liked that to happen 5 years sooner? Yeah. Were we ready? No, because I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So who's to say that 7 years or 2 years is better than one or the other? Who's to say that? I don't think that there's any right or wrong. That's our journey. That's who we are. But if we keep showing up and putting ourselves in the place of most potential and being ridiculously crazy consistent with the stuff we know that we can control, that's when the good stuff happens. That's when you do become open to, okay, now it's time for me to ask for a mentor, and I've got to be okay with him asking me questions, and I don't know the answers to them, and I'm probably going to cry, and we got to work through all this stuff. I'm going to go down the basement. I'm going to do these burpee lunges. I'm going to be really bad. It's going to be hard. I'm probably going to cry, and it's going to be, all that sort of, was happening, and it's not because it happened overnight. It's because what I had been doing up to that point. It can't happen overnight if you want it to be real and lasting. It has to be this journey of continually showing up, continually doing the things that you know you're supposed to do. Stop fighting that. Ask for help. Stop thinking you're this island, and understand that the stronger we all are, the stronger we all are. So when we work together, and the more we work together, the better off we all are. We're really all on the same team. The sooner we figure that out and stop using our energy towards comparing ourselves to someone else, towards wishing we could do, something else, towards trying to control the stuff that's not controllable or do it on our timeline, then it's never going to work, and it's never going to feel joyful. And really, 90% of this business should feel joyful. If it doesn't, you're probably doing something wrong.
Yep. Wow. Okay. That was a lot right there. Did you guys catch that? Yeah? Okay. So real quick here, I think the thing that she's talking about in this very 12-week year, lag measures, lead measures, right? What are the things that we can control, guys? What are the things that we can control when it comes to our business? What are the things that we can control? Which of those? Is it lag or lead, first of all? It's lead, right? So it's lead measures. And what are the things we can control? Yep. Yep. Behaviors, good. Yep, that joyful statement hit hard. Yes, very much so. And it's, yep, consistency, yeah, good. But let's get more specific. What are our what tend to be our lead measures? What tend to be the things that we can control the most? Obviously the vitals, but when it comes to things we've been counting recently, like our invite surge, what were the two? It was invites and connections, right? Those are the kind of the key things. And if you were listening to last week's team National Wake Up Call with Aaron Young, another Hoosier, by the way, that's what she talked about, was making those connections with people on the regular basis. So guys, just really want to encourage you that those behaviors on a regular basis are going to place you in a place where you will start to attract. It's going to happen because you're just naturally connecting with folks and you're not trying to force stuff, right? And let's face it, Kelsey, I think that's a really important thing, that as you're running, you're frustrated. You're like, my gosh, I had a great couple months of my start of the year, and now I'm like, oh, I wanted to still do the same thing. And it's like, well, maybe it's a different season for you now. Now we got to embrace what this season has for us and still have some joy in it, which is tough sometimes. I'll just be honest. It is when you're in a little bit of you feel like you're in a dip. But that's I think it's part of this whole thing is when we do lose some of that joy, then that's what sort of happens. And we sort of start kind of forcing things, and it ends up being a weird spot. Okay. I'm going to continue on. Sorry, I just had to point that out real fast. Here we go.
And that's, you know what I mean? So I love that. I think it's a perfect segue where I want to head here, because one of the things I sense with you a lot, Julie, is that, and I've heard you mention it in passing a little bit today on the wake-up call, but was just the sense that that coaching and the integration of coaching in life is just a critical piece for you. And it so lines up with where I'm at too, because if we kind of put on, just to get me wrong, like coaching as a costume, like you're going to put on my coach costume now, and I'm going to get up and I'm so great. And then I'm going to take that off and I'm going to whatever, you know what I mean? Then I just stop. That's easier to put down and it's also less joyful because it's not authentic, right? It's not authentic to who we are. We're putting on our coach costume. So how do you help your team? How do you help yourself just kind of making this thing integrate? Because I love what you said is sometimes it's like, that doesn't mean working more at something. It just means making it more of your own. You know what I mean? So like, can you elaborate on what some of that stuff? I think you got a lot to offer.
Yeah, I think when people hear the term work smarter or work ethic or anything about that, they assume that means work more. And I think that does this business a disservice, because it's not about working more, but it really, there's no time when I shouldn't say no time. There are a lot of times, most of the time, I don't really shut it off because it's not something I do. Now, that being said, there are times when when Jesse took the dogs out because I'm on a call. This is a physical piece that I'm doing. I'm on a Zoom, or I'm doing something that requires my complete attention, and I am doing something for Beachbody. But most of the time in my life, it's just, this is my life. And I really love health and fitness, and I really love connecting people with solutions at work. And that's what I'm doing all the time. And a word that has been resonating with me a lot lately is the word lighthouse and being a lighthouse. And if a lighthouse doesn't turn their light off, tonight there won't be any ships, so I'll just turn my light off and it's okay. A lighthouse has to have their light on all the time. And I think it's been resonating with me a lot because our team uses a lot of water type references. Our logo is the anchor, because our anchor only works if it's all in. And we talk about that a lot. But if you're a lighthouse and your light is shining, it doesn't ever really turn off. It's important to understand there are times when you are with your family and you're not answering messages on your phone because you're with your family. That doesn't mean you are not working hard. It doesn't mean you're working any less than another coach. But if I pick up a People magazine instead of a personal development, that's a conscious, intentional decision I made on my part to do that instead of that. So then you got to decide, well, how many times am I going to pick up a People magazine over picking up personal development? And if I'm doing this more than this, I can't complain about someone else who's doing better in the business. So I kind of, in my head, I think of myself as a lighthouse. And there's a lot of negativity and junk in the world, and I don't find being a lighthouse to be a responsibility. I find it to be an honor. And I think that if we can shine our light all the time in some way, then we're going to help a lot of people, and we're probably going to help ourselves the most. So work ethic and hustle with heart and all that, to me, means it never really turns off. I'm never really not helping someone. If I'm on errands in Target with my kids, or I'm at, a perfect example is with Jesse's choir concert a couple of months ago, when there was a mom who came up and said, "Hey, are you Julie Voris? I just saw you and I want to talk to you, and they're now in my challenge group." Okay, what if I would have said, "I don't do work right now. I'm not doing Beachbody right now. This is my child's choir concert." No, it's not. We're walking out the door, and this is my life. So of course I'm going to talk to you about it, because it's not what I do, it's who I am. So it's not just something that I set my office hours and just only do in that particular time and shut it off. I don't understand the compartmentalization of that. My husband is a college football coach, as you know, Dan, and the attributes that make him a successful football coach, he doesn't shut those off. He doesn't come home and stop working hard or stop being empathetic or stop, coaching in our home because he's not at the office. We shouldn't stop trying to be the best version of ourselves because we're not in our office at that time. It just isn't something that we turn off. And I think when you live your life with Beachside being in this organic piece of it, a company with whom you partner and you connect people with our solutions at work, it just feels better. There's nothing at war in your life.
Yeah. And so I think it to me where particularly it comes back to the sense of your personal development and having that, you mentioned it again, back to your wake-up call, but having your own bucket filled, because if you don't have that sucker filled and you're trying to be the lighthouse and you don't have enough fuel for that lighthouse, you can't be the light because you're not taking care of you. So it does have to start with that self-care and appropriate boundaries within areas of your life. Absolutely. And that's some sacrifice that we have to decide where value things where, like you mentioned, magazine versus moment. Okay, where am I gonna choose, right? I mean, so
let's give you a perfect example. Yeah. There are 7 workouts in Sean. What do you think? 7 workouts in Insane Focus. I am in 5 of them. Okay. Why am I not in all 7? Because Jesse was in Fan of the Opera on Thursday night, and I didn't fly out till Friday, which means when I got there Friday morning, they were filming those 2. I'm in the other 5. I had an opportunity to be in 7. I'm not. Is that a decision I regret? Absolutely not. That's called balance. Yep. And then I took a red eye back when we were done so I could be back in time for her choir concert because that's called balance. Yep. It's called I'm choosing one or over the other. And I think it's important for parents to understand, if your kids are in activities, if they're, let's say you've got I don't have boys, but let's say you have a boy who's got, Little League games all summer long. And let's say there's 25 Little League games. If you miss a Little League game, to be on a Zoom that can help you get better as a coach, that can help you add to that child's college fund to give them a better life, you're okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's super important for parents to understand that, okay, I said no to this, to say yes to this, to say yes to this, to say yes to this. And that meant I had to give up being in a couple workouts because my family is always my priority, but I'm still in it. But then I was gone over Mother's Day. That was my choice. Yep. And then I came back on the red eye to be back, so it's these pieces that balance out and there'll never be a time where everything's equal. That's silly. That's never going to happen. That's called life. Yep. But you just have to sort of make the decisions that for me, what is going to benefit my children the most? What's going to give them the best, most awesome life possible? Sometimes that means I'm on a Zoom call because I have to get better to help them. Sometimes it means I'm saying no because I need to be with them. And keeping my bucket filled, keeping your bucket filled, for coaches on the call, keeping your bucket filled, I think that looks different for every coach. For me, we're huge Broadway fans, we're big Disney fans, and those pieces in my life inspire me on a daily basis, and when I feel inspired, then I can share that with others. So I think it's important for people to understand too that keeping your own bucket filled doesn't just mean I have to read a John Maxwell book. It might, but maybe it means you go to the zoo with your kids for 2 hours and do nothing except be present with that, and you come back and that was a really cool, I could do that because I could set my own hours because I'm a business person. I enjoy that. I'm inspired. Now I'm going to work. For me, when I go to Disney and I watch the magic and I feel that is so inspiring to me to come back and want to share some sort of magical experience with my challengers and my coaches. And so you have to fill your own bucket in the way that works for you.
Yeah, that's so good because I think you can, especially if someone prescribes what rest looks like to you, it's like everybody rests a little bit differently. And like you said, so someone could be a nature walk person. Somebody could be like I love to read a book, curl up on a couch.
Yes.
It's a fiction thing or whatever, or watching or whatever. But yeah, that's great stuff. Good.
I just did that over the weekend. I read a fiction book. It had zero to do with personal development and everything to do with me just sitting on my patio in the sunshine reading a book, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then yesterday, I listened to 2 podcasts that were business building, so there's this give and take of what's going to fill you and giving yourself some grace to sort of figure it out on the way so that you do find joy in this business.
Cool. Very practical. What are you reading, or what are you reading, like personal development wise, and what were those podcasts just for fun?
I am reading right now Business Boutique by Christy Wright, which is a book specifically for female entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yep.
The entre leadership person, so I'm loving that. I've got a couple other things on my queue. I've got 2 other things. Great by Choice, because Carl said he was reading it. So if Carl says he's reading it, I order it right away. And the podcast I listened to were 2 national wake-up calls that I did because I was getting my head in the right frame of mind.
For you
today, yes. So I wanted to put that pace and that tempo and sort of the idea of value in my head right away, and then have that in my head for today. But generally, I listen to the Entre Leadership podcast. As soon as it comes out, I get so many ideas from that.
Yeah, it's a killer podcast. And it's not just the action, because there's little segments in there within it that often there's usually the main topic, but then there's often little segments, and it's chock full of value. That's great. Okay, 2 more things, and then I'll let you roll. I know you have a passion particularly for live events. You love yourself some live. So let's talk about that. Why should, and I'm just talking to coaches who are on this call, or maybe listen to a recording of this, that why should Summit be something you should really be looking at? Why are Super Saturdays, Super Sundays be events that you should be making that? That's kind of back to your thing, is like, are you going to make, is it the choice of a People magazine or the person, or is it is it okay to occasionally miss? Because I know mom guilt runs rampant. I know mom guilt runs rampant. I get you, especially if you're working, mom, and then you do this in addition to that. Oh man, you're like, I got every moment. But I think I like what you're saying. So go ahead, talk to us a little bit about live events.
Well, as a fitness instructor, and before I was a Beachbody coach, and doing trainings, so being in that realm to being in a class setting. I was a high school teacher before that, so it's always been live in my house. But coming from the fitness piece of it and that being live, and then coming from the training piece of it and training people in a live setting, and then coming into this business really as this business was a baby. I mean, I still feel like we're a baby. Maybe we're like, I don't know, a middle schooler now. I don't even know for that yet. But coming into this business as a baby, and live events were such a driving force, because I went to these live events as a very baby 8-month-old coach when nothing else was going on, and Carl Deichler was standing there on a stage at this event called The Game Plan, talking about this vision of this company. I'm like, what? I've never heard anyone talk like this, and everyone around me felt the same way. And to put it into a Broadway context, because that's a love of mine, is when we went to see Hamilton last year in New York City, and we saw it with the original cast, and we walk in the theater, and it's a half an hour before the show starts, and there is a buzz. I could touch it. I could feel it. And we're all kind of sitting next to each other. We don't know. No one knows anyone. You're like looking at each other going, like, this is going to be awesome.
Experience it, yeah.
And then it gets to intermission. You're looking at it going, this is really happening. This is crazy. And you all get it. You're all in this room. People get it. And you've heard me say, Dan, at a Super Saturday event or something when I'm teaching, it's like I could lock the door and say our workout's 2 hours long, and everyone's like, whoa, because we get it. And there's something so powerful and affirming and validating about getting into a room full of people who get it. So sometimes as coaches, we're the odd man out in our family or in our community, or we're sort of like the only health and fitness. We're the person choosing chicken over chocolate cake at a wedding reception or whatever. And you get in this room with people who get it, and you look around and go, it's not just me. It's not just me. There are other people who believe this, and I'm validated because of that, and that is powerful. That will carry you over to the next event. So even, take it back to fitness classes. You show up on a Thursday for Turbo Thursday, and you look around and you're like, oh my God, there's lots of people here. We all want to work out and sweat. And you show up the next Thursday, and then they all get it, and it's validating. Like, It's not just me who wants to get fit. So that, I think, is the most powerful piece about a live event. It validates that what you're doing is valuable and it matters.
Yeah, that's that. So the technical, I think it's like social proof, right? That's that social proof. So you're just like, just look at, am I normal?
Yes, exactly.
Which is a good, validation. Awesome. Okay, so last little piece here. I'm going to have you speak both sides of the spectrum here.
Okay.
Being inspired and staying inspired, which is some of what we've mentioned a little bit here. But let's say, speak to the coach who's been doing this for a bit, maybe a few years, who just needs to get re-inspired. It's like there's a, man, the slog has been rough. Last year was a rough year for everybody as a whole. We can't deny that, and that reflected on our team a little bit. So, that piece to that person, what is it? To get re-inspired, and then for the new coach who is kind of excited by this, they're like ready. Oh, wow, this is amazing, but maybe a little overwhelmed. And like, how do I focus some of my energy? You know what I mean? So, if you could speak to those both a little bit, that'd be great.
Well, I think for both of them, it's okay to acknowledge and understand that this is hard. What we're doing is health and fitness. And health and fitness is hard because we're humans. And for the most of us, Dan, you and I might be a little bit the exception in that, like, we really, really like to work out. Like, I just really like to work out. We really like it. And, a lot of beachbody coaches like that. We like that, but that's not the norm. A lot of humans will do the thing that's comfortable and not the thing that's uncomfortable. And let's face it, burpee lunges are uncomfortable. So
especially this morning.
Exactly. So, I think that acknowledging that it's hard to build a business in the health and fitness industry is important first. Okay, it's hard. It's going to be hard to get people up and moving. We know they're going to feel better on the other end of it. We know that. But it's hard. So, okay, it's hard. I think that's important for a veteran coach and a new coach to embrace. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Okay. And then truly asking yourself and saying to yourself, am I all in? Am I truly all in? And the thing that Jimmy Hayes Nelson said on a team call for me, I thought he put it so succinctly. Do you have your hand on the back door? In case it gets a little too hard, do you have your hand on the back door? And to me, that looks like there's no plan B. I'm in. Whether our team gets to another rank, whether I make it as an elite coach, we are an elite team again, there is no plan B. Yeah. I'm in. So I better figure this out because I am in. This is the only business that is going to change my life, my children's lives, their children's lives, along the way, a whole lot of other people, that some of whom I might not have met yet. This is the only one, and we control that. So even when it's hard, because it will be, even when it feels like you're not making any progress, because you will feel that, the business will have ebbs and flows. And I know after 9 years, on the other side of the ebb, there will be a flow if you stay consistent. I know there will be a success on the other side of a challenge if you stay consistent. I know there will be a peak on the other side of a valley. I know that is not just this business, that is life. But the only people that will have success in this business want to treat, put both feet in and off the back door, say, this is my plan A, there is no other, and stick with it. The ones who try to find a way out when it gets hard will always be looking for a way out.
Yeah, and I think that's, that having that as the option, there is a psycho-spiritual sense of that, and people can even get it when they're around you. Like, you're like,
I'm in.
Yeah, the contrast to that. So if you aren't all in, people can kind of, I can sense things like that quite there yet. And guys, we're not asking you to hype yourself up into like, oh my gosh, I gotta believe this. And truly, guys, that's part for you newer coaches. That's part of the belief building process. And the more as we go along in this, and this is one of the things that actually I got done with your call or the wake up call. And it was like sort of a synthesis for me, and this is where I kind of do this. So you didn't necessarily say this, but this really helped me. And I know it's like my job is to really share belief with my challengers and coaches. If I can,
your job's to be a lighthouse.
Yes, to be a lighthouse. There you go. And to my challengers and my coaches, and if the more I can be that, guys, the more I'm able to then see others duplicate that, become lighthouses.
You can't make them do it.
Yes.
You can't make anyone do it. We can't control that. Yep. We can only control us. And the more we put energy going, why is this coach not doing this? How about why are you not just doing it?
Yep.
You just worry about you.
Yep.
Do your best to share your belief with others. Be the lighthouse. Take them with you on the ride, because the ride's freaking awesome. But you can't make them do it.
Yep. And yeah. So it's so critical, guys. To be able to take that level of responsibility, because we all get frustrated for a challenger who doesn't follow through. We all get frustrated on a coach who doesn't follow through. You're all excited. They're all excited, and then something happens, and then you're like, what happened? And then you sort of take it personally. You're like, oh, what did I do wrong? And it's like, no, you gave them the tools, and you got them started as much as our process we do with that. You can't do so. All right, well, Julie, and just thank you so much, not only for just the information that you give and the passion that you give, but just your friendship. You're the deal, man. I just gotta say, and I'm so privileged to know you and be part of our Indiana Market Council together with you. So it's great. So thanks for being part of our call, and I'm gonna sign off now, and then I'll talk about something else real quick.
Perfect. Well, your presence on the Market Council has been a real blessing for us. That's for sure. You have energy and your excitement, your enthusiasm, and your fresh perspective. It's just been a real blessing, and I know that your coaches feel that way too. You know, you can tell when you guys are together and when you're posting, when you're talking. I mean, there's a real tribe that's there, and that's really, coaches, that's really what we do. The rank and the recognition and standing on the stage, that's cool, and I never want anyone to take that off their goal list, because in order to stand on stage, you have to help a lot of people.
Yep.
Usually, you know, and when the years are hard, it's harder to do it. And I think it's important to understand that even if you're not standing on a stage, you don't have all the confetti coming down and the bright lights, you are doing something that's making a difference. And that, my friends, is greater than standing on a stage any day. Standing on a stage is about 5 seconds long. Making a difference lasts a lifetime. And when you can make a difference for others in your own life, and you can change your kids' lives, that's everything.
Good words. All right. Thanks, Julie.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, kids. So good stuff. Yeah? Helpful? Sounds good? Good stuff? We got one message. Yeah, she is pretty amazing, man. And guaranteed, Stephanie knew her back in the old days too. And you can probably sense there's definitely a change in Julie over the years. There's a softening to her in a cool way, because she's pretty hard ass back in the day. Just being real. Yeah. So it's really great. So yeah, she's great. Yeah. And I think one of her big things that she really does, like, if you know much, if you ever watch her stuff, but she is a crazy Disney head. So you saw the Disney pictures in the back. She's nutso on that, and she's nuts on Broadway stuff. They popped down a lot of change to go to a lot of. You guys know how much Hamilton tickets are. Like, the nosebleed seats are $400 a piece. That's that. So, and I guarantee she didn't do nosebleed seats for that. So anyway, just say she's got that as a high priority, which is kind of interesting. Good stuff. Okay, so I just want to leave you with if there's any particular points. We got about 1 minute or 2 minutes left here to kind of process any specifics that really hit you guys in that. Man, there's one phrase that hit me a ton, but I don't want to share that first if I can. If there's someone else who had something else. Anybody? You can open up your mic if you want to. It's always the first person to start, then gets things rolling. Yeah, lighthouse metaphor was great. Yeah, isn't that great? You just really don't. And I remember, so when I used to work at GCC, Mark Beeson would tell us, he would say these words, and sometimes it ticked me off, just being truthful. He would say these words, that you don't take your staff hat off, is what he did, because we were ambassadors for that staff, right? That was what the deal is like, I can't just take it off. And sort of the same thing, I think, with guys with Beachbody, is we don't really take that off necessarily either. And that sometimes can be frustrating, right? You just want to go to a party and I want to eat these Skittles. It is like, man, I don't want to pay attention to anyway. But it's the truth, you know. It's part of that is we're representing, right? I think that's good. The thing that hit me, honestly, guys, is that backdoor thing. And it's funny because I mentioned that about I commented on, not about out of this will help me. Is it? Yes. So good, Debbie. I'm glad you picked up on that one too. Because it's real easy to go, well, this doesn't work in about a month or two. I'm out of here. And it's really easy to say that. And it's like, well, just so y'all can hear me too on that, it's like, I'm not going anyplace. You know, I'm not going anyplace. And I just think sometimes that's one of those things where, and if we're truthful, if everybody's truthful, come on, if you're honest, you've thought about quitting, you've had to, everybody has, okay, I have, you know, probably even last week, just being real. So it's just I think it's part of the ups and downs of it and the emotional roller coaster that sometimes that this is. And it's like, oh man, you know, and we've all said it, is this really worth all the time I have to spend and doing is, yeah, I know, I'm there with you. But I think we'll struggle through it together. Because I think it's worth it, and you guys are worth it. And I just need to tell you, just from as I help lead this team, and you know, with a lot of you guys, but just to tell you that I so appreciate the fact that you're hanging in there, that you're still helping people, that you're still making a difference in people's lives. You're taking those opportunities, and just need to really live it to make it worth it the time. Yeah, absolutely. I think for yourself. Absolutely. And it's I think that's a good point, Claire, is when we are living it out. And I love what she said, is like, because like, I think we sometimes can displace that. Can you guys get a feeling on that? My sense is, so like if my challenger's not doing so well, and I'm noticing that person, sometimes I kind of get off, I lose my focus on my journey or even helping the people who are actually working. And there's that one person who's not doing it. It's like, dude, no, stay engaged with the people who are engaged and yourself. And if there's a person, you just have to kind of go, well, dude, you know, yeah. So anything else, people? All right. Well, so like I said, I will put that thing up in the, so first of all, I'll post this recording so you can tag your coaches if they didn't end up making it. And then secondly, I also post about the t-shirt for Summit folks. I'm going to post that probably just in the Summit group. Okay. Just so you know, it'll be in that Summit event. So please make sure if you've got ideas to respond on that stuff, maybe color scheme, maybe thoughts about what to put on it. I'm thinking probably that Florida whatever thing, you know, the New Orleans Saints symbol, right, would be probably somewhat part of it. So, all right, kids, thanks so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Keep it up.